Have you ever had someone say to you, "Oh, I really support what you're doing, but don't ask me to make any changes in my life"? If so, then maybe this video is for you. Hello again, I'm Nigel from Mad About Animals. In this video we're going to be continuing the short series about conversations we have when doing street activism. Recently I was doing some street activism in Liverpool, which is a city in the north of England. We were showing footage of farms and slaughterhouses, showing how animals are bred, how they're reared and ultimately how they're slaughtered. So we had screens showing that, and to one side we had a table with leaflets and that sort of thing on, so that if people were interested we could take them to that side, give them a few leaflets, have a bit more of an in-depth chat with them. At one point I was quite near the table when a couple of women came by, and one of them said to me, "Where do I sign?" I said, "What do you mean, where do you sign?" She said, "The petition to stop all this, where do I sign?" I said, "We're not doing a petition, we're just showing people the footage and encouraging them to make changes in their life." She looked at me and she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you've seen some of the footage." She said, "Yeah, it's disgusting, we should stop it." So I said, "Well, yeah, exactly, that's what I mean. We're asking people to make changes in their lives, to stop this sort of thing." And she looked a bit quizzical. So I carried on. I said, "So you've seen this footage, you agree that it's disgusting, it's despicable and we should stop it. So what do you think you can do to stop it?" So she said, "Well, that's what I thought you were doing a petition for, to get a petition to the government to stop all this, to make it illegal." I said, "Well, we could do that, yeah. And we do petitions from time to time to Parliament to ask them to change some of the practices. But ultimately there's something a bit more immediate that we can all do." And again she looked at me a bit, "What do you mean?" "Well, do you still eat animals?" "Oh yeah." "And you do realise that when you eat animals or drink their milk or eat their eggs or wear their skin, that behind the scenes where we can't see, something like we're showing on the screens here is happening?" "Yeah. So by doing that you're effectively funding this that you have said yourself is disgusting and should be stopped." "Oh, I see," she said. "So what do you think is the single biggest thing that you can do right now to help?" "Well, I was going to sign a petition." "Yeah, okay, sign a petition, that's good. But what could you do right now that would help?" And she just wasn't getting it. "Well, if you weren't vegan, you wouldn't be paying people to do this in your name. You wouldn't be paying for this to happen." "Ah, yeah, but that's not going to change overnight, is it?" "No, of course it's not. But things like this take time." "But if the government made it illegal, then it would stop overnight." "I guess you're right. I guess if government did make it illegal, it would stop overnight. But just because something isn't illegal, does that mean that we should participate in it? There was a time when racism wasn't illegal. Does that mean we should have been racist at that time? So what is the single biggest thing that you can do today to help stop this?" She looked like, "What the hell are you talking about?" "Well, if you walk away from here vegan, you're no longer paying for this to happen. You're no longer paying for this to happen in your name. It's not going to change overnight. Of course it's not going to change overnight. But we can all do our part. We can all take personal responsibility for these things." And that's fundamentally what's wrong with society today, I think. People are happy for the government to change, to force change, but they don't want to make changes themselves. So this woman, she was happy to sign a petition to make government stop it, but when it came to taking personal responsibility for her part and not participating in it anymore, it's like, "Oh God, I'm not going to do that." The following day I was doing some more street activism in a town called Harrogate in the north of England. We were actually doing some anti-vivisection activism. And gathering at the same location were some Extinction Rebellion people. They were going on some sort of march, I think it was. There was probably about a dozen of them, maybe a few more. And we got chatting to them. Virtually none of them were vegan. So they were prepared to give up their Sunday to go on a march to help encourage the government to fight climate change. And yet when we asked them directly, what's the single biggest thing that you as an individual can do to help combat climate change? It's go vegan, isn't it? That's the single biggest thing that you can do. So you're expecting Parliament, you're expecting governments of the world to change. And yes, of course they should, but you're not prepared to do something yourself. How does that work? How does your mind get in that mindset where you want everyone else to change, but you're not prepared to do your part? If you've ever been involved in any rehabilitation services, drug addiction, alcoholism, sex addiction, gambling addiction, any of those sorts of things, you will have come across the adage that there's only one person that can change you, and that's you. All the services, all the help, all the advice, all the guidance, all the mentoring, they can help you, but fundamentally, the only person that can change you is you. So when I'm doing street activism, that's the tack I take. Yeah, we're not going to have a vegan world overnight, but if you do your part, if you go vegan, at least you're not contributing. We're not asking you to do activism, although it would be brilliant if you did. We're not asking you to start your own YouTube channel, your own TikTok channel. We're just asking you to make moral choices. Instead of choosing dairy milk, choose plant milk. Instead of choosing cow flesh burger, choose a plant burger. Instead of choosing leather for your shoes, choose synthetic or plant-based materials. We're not asking you to do terribly much. Just make the right moral choices. Not difficult. I'm Nigel from Mad About Animals. If you found this helpful, informative, useful in any way, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.